deal with each other? How do they really care for each other? You know, how is that going to work out? The 48th gate is a fear of inadequacy. The channel is about inadequacy. So they're going to have to find skills as a relationship. When I'm giving you in any relationship that has a split, that's a simple split, you're getting immediate therapeutic tools to work with. In other words, they need relating skill work. They need to learn to work with each other logically. And they're looking for those skills. Now, it doesn't mean they're consciously looking for them. It doesn't mean they're aware that they're looking for them. But because that's the single gate, you know, then you know that that's a major theme. If you go to the 20th gate, we know that the 57 is about the fear of tomorrow through the 20. So you can see as a partnership, they're always going to be afraid of tomorrow. In other words, there's a basic instability in this split definition. That basic instability is they're always trying to find the now, because it's only in the now that they feel secure with each other. Now think about how that works. The moment that they meet the 20th gate, it's a transit, for example. In the moment there's the 20th gate, that's the way the split comes together. That mental inability to be able to act on things suddenly disappears, and in the moment they're able to do something together. In other words, it's going to be very important for them to see that they don't have to be afraid of their future together as long as they find things to do together. Because that doing together is going to be very important for them. The 31st gate. The 31st gate is a real bone of contention for Charles. See, Charles is the 7. Remember the 31-7, the channel of leadership. Charles's mother is a 31 who has no 7. So, you know, Charles grew up with a mother that provided him with influence and provided him with the archetype of influence. And in coming together with Diana, you can see that she doesn't have anything in this channel. But as a partnership, they're looking for the influence. And finding influence together is something that is effective for them. You know, if you're looking at them, you can see right away that there's all kinds of pressure on that relationship because they don't have a natural connection to each other. So it means that the only way they find each other, in other words, they feel whole about each other, is when you have connections in those specific gates. But that sets up conditioned circumstances. They have to be an influence together in order to get off on that. And they got to get there. And they can't get there until they have proper relating skills with each other because they feel inadequate. And they don't know whether it's worth the investment because they're afraid of tomorrow. And then instead of